Hello and welcome to the Robo Samurai channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Transformers Legacy Leader Class Transmetal 2 Megatron, and you're looking at the whole setup here, accessories and all, but let's take a look at the box first. Alright, so here's the box, and the box looks, yeah, pretty cool. I mean, this is pretty good stuff. I like the Megatron pick here, and both the dragon head and the Megatron head, and here's the back here, and then there's the QR code. I'll link that in the description below. And there's the normal rest of the art here. Custom looking at. And yeah, nice tough box. Let's take a look at the figure itself. And yeah, I've left it in its beast mode because I wanted to go from beast mode to robot mode on this one. The only accessory it comes with is this fire effect right here. It is not soft plastic, it's hard plastic, so yeah. Yeah, I was gonna have him hold it. There we go. Fire. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, so it just fits here, and that's pretty much where it goes. You know, nice accessory, cool stuff. Let's take a look at the figure. And you know, it just depends on the angle you look at it from. I think, and from some angles it tends to look okay, and other angles it's just fine. So you know, yeah, it's however, I do like it. I think this is great. It does not have any of the chrome that the original did, and that was one that I had, you know, and yeah, it's got some great articulation, actually. So let's talk a little bit about that. Here's his little dragon arms, and you know, they got the whole, you got the whole thing here. You can rotate it all the way around. It can go out to the side. It's got elbow, and his wrist swivel, and all that other stuff. So yeah, that's cool. And since his legs are basically the robot mode legs. Yeah, he's got ankle tilt, he's got a knee bend, so he can go up like this, and you know, you can have him standing really tall. And then the neck, each part of the neck is actually on a ball joint, except for this end piece here. And yeah, so you can kind of get him, you know, turning sideways, and see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it doesn't look too good like this. So different angles, you know, if you have him just right, he can really look, well, he can look good. You can get him into some good poses here. The tail does a similar articulation, where you've got, you know, every bit is, every one of these pieces except for the joining piece here is on a ball joint. So yeah, you can get some good articulation here. This is kind of a slightly soft plastic back here on the end of the tail. And no, he does not have, okay, so the original Transmetal, if you didn't know, had a vehicle mode. No, he does not have that mode. So the head itself, you know, obviously it can rotate all the way around, but he also has the open and close jaw thing going on here. And let's see if we can't get a little focus on that. There we go. So yeah, I kind of like this. This actually looks pretty good in terms of, you know, how it looked in the cartoon and everything else. I like this head sculpt. This is probably one of my favorite versions of Megatron. Not probably, definitely is. The other thing that's really neat is you've got the wings here. So the wings, there's no, it just manually you can kind of move them into the right spots. You can also spread these out, and he can, you know, have them, you can spread each one of these wings out all the way, and yeah, that looks really good, you know. So yeah, you can have him kind of like this, and yeah, not too bad. See, again, you know, from that angle, I'm not sure. It doesn't kind of, maybe you just got to get it in the right spot. And let's see if I can get him in the, let's see if we can get him in this position here. Yeah, so you can get him kind of low down to the ground here. A little bit. Yeah, so, you know, can you get him to go out to the side here? Yeah. So if he was flying, you can have him flying. One of the things that I think might be a slightly missed opportunity, I don't see it, there's no mounting point for him for like flying dragon mode. That would have been really great, but no, I didn't see that here. So let's take a look here and let's look at the details just a little bit here. Let me get this focus for you guys, and let me turn the light on here. You can see like the scales and like part of the roboticness of it, and a lot of the external stuff. This is like a faux wheel. This would have been a wheel in the original Transmetal 2 version. And yeah, there's no real chromed pieces. There are some nice, what should we say? This is all painted gold. This spark crystal here does not have any kind of Predacon symbol in it or anything like that. It's just kind of generic. That Predacon, yeah, it could have been. I think that would have been a good thing to have in there. He's got some nice painting on him. These parts of the wings here are painted purple, and then a little bit purple here, and you can kind of see some of the detail they put down here. Yeah, all in all, it looks really good. Yeah, and I think if you're a fan of this mold, then yeah, or you're a fan of this character, this is probably as good as you're going to get. It'd be interesting to them. They released a re-release of this called Cryotech, and that would be interesting to see as well. So one thing about this neck piece here, though, is that you can see these two tabs here. They kind of fit here. They're supposed to lock here. They don't really lock very well. So yeah. So, but I keep having to reset it if I'm messing around with it, because there's nothing to really tab it in there. But that's the idea, is to kind of keep it there. So, all right. So I think with all that, everything seems to hold together pretty well. His legs can go all the way out, and he's got knee bend and even thigh swivel and all that. So yeah, there's a lot of articulation that you can do with Transmetal 2 Megatron here. So Dragon Megatron, So with that, let's go ahead and transform him. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna collapse the wings, kind of get them out of the way, and then fold them back like this. And then the next thing is, and this is kind of an interesting thing. So you can see how this kind of split out. There is a tab here, and you'll see there's a tab here and a little peg, and that's supposed to peg into there in order to lock this in. Sometimes that gets a little bit undone if you're messing around with it, but I'm not here to focus on that immediately, but we're going to talk about it in a second. So they're going to take this entire piece here, and you'll see that they're tabbed in here. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way, and I'm going to untab it and then pull this down all the way down like that. What we want to do is now we're going to untab those pieces, and you can kind of clearly see how that tabbed in there. And then by splitting these open here, and then we're going to take this piece here, and we're going to rotate it up on this, just rotate it and get it out of the way. Okay. Now we're going to collapse these here, and they will tab into each other almost in the same way. And you can see there's a couple of posts there, and then they're going to go into in the holes here. So yeah, one's square peg, and then that's the round peg. So we'll go on ahead and put those together and push them like this. Let's see here. And I think it's easier once you push them in, like when you push up on it, they'll kind of finish that piece there. So, and you'll see in the back here that they kind of like joined. I could show you, like, see that right there? See how they split? And then they're kind of meshed together like that. Pushing it up into that will finish that. So that'll lock that in place right there. So going ahead and straighten out the legs, and straighten out that. Straighten out this, straighten out that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mess around with this piece here. So we're going to take this chest plate, and I believe we're going to just pull it down like so, okay? And then we have to take this panel right here, and we're going to open that up. Do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll be able to take this. See, this whole thing here is actually on a swivel joint here. So we're going to pull that to the side, and then we're going to open up this arm here. It's folded in there, and you'll see that that joint is right there. All right, and then we're going to close this gold piece up right just like that. See it? So it's going to fold up like that. And now let me pull open this. This actually tabs right there into that shoulder pin. And you can fold out the arm. And I'm going to move the arm out of the way, stretch it out like that. And we're going to work on this on these arms here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this arm here, fold that in there, and then we're going to take this, fold this up, and then we're going to pull these. You're going to rotate this wrist so that it matches it tabs into the front here, and it doesn't quite tab the way it should, but this is what you should have. And I'm going to show you again here. We'll close that, put that there, wrap that up, and then you're going to wrap this around the front, and I'll kind of show you that in a minute, what that looks like. Now we're going to take and move these wings out of the way, pull this tail piece all the way up, and then we're going to pull this all the way around, and then we're going to bring the head up, and you'll see there's a tab right here that goes into this slot right there. So that'll slot in there. Just kind of give it a push there, and then going ahead and close these panels back up, the ones that we pulled out earlier. There we go, so that they kind of snap in place like you just heard. And then we'll close this. And I think actually I got a little bit, before I snap this in place, I need to close this up. So what's going to happen is you're going to close this like that. And yeah, just like that. And then these arms, these hands are going to, they kind of fit around here, and you'll see that their claws, actually there is a little tab right there, and that tab's supposed to fit into that slot right there, but it doesn't really tab in. So bummer, but it'll kind of hold it in place. All right, now let's go on ahead and we'll do this piece again, where I told you we're going to tab these in place. And sometimes, all right, once you do that, just make sure that's all pushed down, and then these slots, right? If you look here, there's a little bit of a slot right here. You're going to make sure that those things are actually underneath this. So like that. And then going ahead and the head will be back like this. You want to push the head forward. Okay. And then this back here, this is the chest piece for the dragon. You'll see that there's a tab here, and it goes into this slot here. So go on ahead and just close that in there the best you can. Sometimes this thing sticks, sometimes it doesn't from my copy. So, yeah. All right. There we go. Oops. Well, that's about as good as I'm going to get it. I've been able to tab this in successfully. There we go. There it is. Just took a minute there. And then yeah, make sure that you don't untab anything else out front here. Okay, well, doesn't want to tab all the way. All right, so there. And so let's work from here. Going ahead and pull down the dragon tail. You can keep the wings back here. And then so everything's in spot, in the right place. There we go. Going ahead and adjust the arms, turn this to the side, do that, and there is Transmetal 2 Megatron in his robot mode. Yeah, yeah, I like this. I think that this is really good, and you can, of course, at this point now you can take out the dragon wings out, give them a little bit more of a, foreboding presence here. So. Yeah, so let's take a look here. Of course, the head itself doesn't have a lot of articulation, so it just kind of goes left and right. Let's take a quick look at that head sculpt. Not too bad. I kind of dig that. I I wish that these claws would actually lock in better, but they don't. You can see the spark crystal here. You see, it's just like the other one. It's just the larger version of it. Again, all the same articulation points, and yeah, you can put the effect in here, and it looks pretty good, you know, if you're trying to do that. And you know, you can also do something like this if you wanted to. So yeah, not too bad. Yeah, so what do I think of this figure? I like this figure. The price point is right. I know that there are third-party figures out there that you can spend a heck of a lot more on, and this is good for me. Oh, by the way, yeah, he does have waist rotation. Outside of that, he has all the normal articulation that we were kind of showing off in his dragon mode. So yeah, and just to show you a little bit of sense of scale, I'll bring out Earthrise Optimus Prime. And you can see how he stands up next to him. So, yeah, there you go. So, do I recommend this figure? Yes, I do. Especially if, you know, you can't spend, you know, I don't know how much it is for a third-party version of this. I would definitely go and get it. I think that outside of, you know, this big dino, it's not a dinosaur. So, outside of this chest plate for the dragon mode just kind of hanging out back there, it's still not too bad, I guess, but you know, I kind of like this. I think that this is a great display piece. He has you know, a lot of good different articulation options, and yeah, and if you're a you know, a Beast Wars collector, and you know, and you have you need Megatron. You need this version of Megatron. So I'm glad that they actually wound up releasing it. I'd say the only other thing that I would kind of complain about, maybe just a little bit of the teeth are kind of drawn in here, kind of funny. I don't know if that's the mold or they drew it in. I think the head sculpt could be a little better, but I like it. It's fine for me. Anyway, so there you go. Hey, if you like this review, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I will talk to you guys next time.